Once upon a time, on a bright and sunny morning, I found myself in an exciting situation. I was part of a school group eagerly preparing for a nature walk with our enthusiastic teacher, Mr. Thompson. The day promised adventure, and as we gathered outside our school, I could feel the excitement buzzing in the air. Each of us carried a backpack filled with water bottles, snacks, and notebooks, ready to explore the wonders of the forest. As we walked towards the forest, the chirping of birds welcomed us. I looked around and noticed how the trees stood tall and proud, their leaves dancing in the gentle breeze. I had always loved nature, but this day felt different. I was eager to learn more about the plants and animals that surrounded us. Upon entering the forest, the sunlight filtered through the leaves, creating a magical atmosphere. Mr. Thompson explained that we were going to discover the beauty of the ecosystem and understand how everything was interconnected. Nature is like a big puzzle, he said. Every piece has its own place, and together they create a beautiful picture. His words sparked curiosity in my heart. We began our adventure by observing the plants around us. Mr. Thompson pointed out various types of trees, the sturdy oak, the slender birch, and the fragrant pine. I took notes in my notebook, trying to capture every detail. Each tree had a story to tell, and I imagined how many seasons they had witnessed. The oak, with its thick trunk, must have seen countless children playing in its shade, while the birch, with its white bark, probably stood proudly as the seasons changed around it. As we walked deeper into the forest, we stumbled upon a small stream. The sound of water flowing over the rocks was soothing, and I felt a sense of peace wash over me. Mr. Thompson encouraged us to gather around the stream. This is a vital part of the ecosystem, he explained. Streams provide water for plants and animals, and they are essential for life. We watched as small fish darted through the clear water, and I marveled at their grace. It was fascinating to see life thriving right before my eyes. Next, we began to search for signs of wildlife. Look for footprints, droppings, or nests, Mr. Thompson instructed. As we wandered, I spotted a small bird's nest tucked into the branches of a bush. Can you see how carefully the bird built its home? I pointed out to my friends. The nest was made of twigs and leaves, showcasing the bird's resourcefulness. I felt inspired by nature's ability to create something beautiful and functional. Suddenly, we heard a rustling sound nearby. Our eyes widened with curiosity as we cautiously approached the noise. To our delight, we spotted a family of deer grazing peacefully. They looked up at us, their big brown eyes filled with curiosity. I held my breath, trying not to startle them. "Remember, we are guests in their home," Mr. Thompson whispered. I felt a connection with the deer, knowing that we were sharing this beautiful space together. After observing the deer for a while, we continued our exploration. We learned about different plants and their uses. Mr. Thompson showed us how some leaves could be used to make tea, while others had medicinal properties. I jotted down notes eagerly, imagining the many ways we could benefit from nature's gifts. Nature is not just a backdrop, it's a treasure chest full of wonders, I thought to myself. As we ventured further, we discovered an open meadow filled with wildflowers. The colors were vibrant and alive, each flower dancing gently in the breeze. I felt overwhelmed by the beauty surrounding me. "Take a moment to appreciate this," Mr. Thompson said. "Breathe in the fresh air and notice the scents of the flowers." I closed my eyes, inhaling deeply, and felt grateful for this moment. I realized how often I took nature for granted, living in a world filled with technology and distractions. After a delightful picnic lunch in the meadow, we gathered for a discussion about what we had learned. Each of us shared our favorite moments. One friend talked about the deer, while another was fascinated by the different plants. I shared my experience of the stream and how it reminded me of the importance of water in our lives. Mr. Thompson encouraged us to think about how we could protect nature and respect its resources. As the day progressed, we made our way back towards the forest entrance. I felt a sense of fulfillment wash over me. This day had been about much more than just learning. It was about connecting with nature and appreciating its beauty. I realized how refreshing it was to be away from screens and devices, focusing solely on the world around us. My heart was filled with gratitude for the experiences we had shared and the knowledge we had gained. Before we left, Mr. Thompson gathered us in a circle. "I hope you all understand the importance of nature," he said. "It's our responsibility to take care of it, just like it takes care of us." His words resonated deeply with me. I promised myself that I would do my part to protect the environment and encourage others to do the same. As we walked back to school, I felt lighter, as if I had left a part of my worries behind in the forest. The adventure had taught me valuable lessons about life, nature, and the importance of connection. I looked around at my friends, who were buzzing with excitement and stories to tell. I knew that this day would remain etched in our memories forever. From that day on, I became more aware of the beauty of nature and the importance of spending time outdoors. I realized that every moment spent in nature is a moment well spent. I often think back to that day in the forest, reminding myself to appreciate the simple joys of life, to respect our planet, and to cherish the connections we share with nature and each other. And so, our adventure came to an end, but the lessons we learned continued to guide us. Nature had opened our eyes to its wonders, and I was determined to carry that knowledge into my everyday life. The forest had become a part of me, and I knew that as long as I remembered the beauty of that day, I would always carry a piece of nature in my heart. The end.